of Delphi Bracketology Game Day. Episode 6 was supposed to come out last Friday. We had technical difficulties. I'd like to apologize for that. I'm sitting with our panel today, and we look forward to bringing you this week's version of Game Day. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Hoosier Huddle, as always, for sponsoring our show. We'd like to thank all of our viewers for watching. We're going to start out today with a little bit of a serious comment and then get back into our fun segments. College football has been hit with some coaching changes, player suspensions, and that's the ugly side of college football, and we're going to address it. We hope that the programs that got rid of their coaches did so with a clear mind. We hope that USC, Southern California, and Coach Sakarjian gets over his issues that caused his removal, and we hope the young man down at Florida has learned a lesson about drugs and using drugs for enhancement of performance enhancing drugs. We feel for him and the program. That happens, but we are going to focus on traditions, and we are going to focus on the matchups of college, which makes college football excellent. Today joining me is Kane Meyer, the coolest guy in Delphi, and that's coolest with a K. And then we have Jacob Klauser. His name does not have a K in it, but it should. And then we have Dave Gilbert, who's just an okay guy. This is our panel today, and we're going to start out real quick with the lightning round. First game is Rutgers at IU. Must win for IU if they want to get to a bowl. Must win, I think, for Coach Wilson as he's finishing his 5th year. I have IU winning at home.
IU's got to overcome some injuries, and they got to contain Rutgers playmaker and wide receiver Leonte Caro, but I got the Hoosiers also winning this one.
I got the Hoosiers winning all the way. There's no reason they shouldn't win this game.
I think this is kind of a must-win situation for IU if they want to get to those 6 wins and bowl eligibility. I think they get the job done down in Bloomington.
Our other in-state game in the lightning round is Purdue at Wisconsin. Purdue's been struggling. I know there are a lot of people around here would like to see them get a big win, but in Wisconsin that's going to be very, very tough to do, even though this isn't a typical Wisconsin team. I see Wisconsin winning this game.
No consistency on the Purdue defensive side of the ball. Badgers are going to win.
As they both said, the defense looking a little rough for Purdue, so I got to go with Wisconsin on this one.
Purdue is a complete mess in all 3 phases of the game. Wisconsin's just going to run all over them.
And now we're going to send it out to our traveling correspondent, Kyle Klein, who is up in South Bend, Elkhart area. Kyle, how are you doing today?
Hey, thanks, Mr. T, and guys back at the studio. I'd like to welcome you guys to our Game Day segment here. I am actually on location at the Notre Dame Library. You may recognize this person back here behind me. This is Touchdown Jesus, or as back where I grew up, we call him Touchdown Jesus. Anytime that you get a field goal, Notre Dame gets a field goal, go! 3 points for the Golden Domers. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Mr. Klein, for that report. Lots of traditions up in South Bend at Notre Dame. Now we have our games of the week. We're going to start out with a couple of SEC matchups. The first one is Alabama at Texas A&M. Kane?
Alabama's 5-1 right now. They're ranked 2nd nationally in defensive efficiency and 3rd in offensive efficiency. So they're looking pretty good on both sides of the ball right now. Texas A&M, I don't know. They're going to have to play very well, and their quarterback, Kyle Allen, he's going to have to take care of the ball to get the win against Alabama, but I'm going with Roll Tide.
Jake?
I got LSU and Florida this week. Oh.
Your Alabama, Texas A&M pick.
I'm going to have to go with Alabama on this one.
This is the game that has huge playoff ramifications. A loss would probably knock the Tide out of the playoff situation, and a win for the Aggies would really boost their resume. Alabama looked impressive on the road 2 weeks ago at Georgia. I think they continue being road warriors to get a big win at Kyle Field.
Great place. We talked about tradition and what's great about college football in this tough week. Texas A&M and their 12th man and their cheers. They haven't played a real tough schedule. This would be huge for them, but I just believe Coach Saban has Alabama primed to overcome that loss earlier in the season. I pick Alabama. And now, Jake, I'm so excited in his first time on Game Day, jumped the gun, but now you get Florida at LSU, Jake.
All right, so LSU's running back Leonard Fournette, he's been running for yards on top of yards. He's reached over 1,000 yards in his first 5 games this year. And this is the first time he's going to face a good quality defense in the SEC, so we're going to see how this goes. And then Florida's quarterback just got suspended for the use of performance-enhancing drugs, so they're going to have to go with their second string this week and see how that rolls over for him. But I'm going to have to go with LSU this week.
Florida has been a surprise unbeaten team this year, quickly rising up the rankings. They have a very solid defense, but that defense will be sorely tested by Leonard Fournette this week. LSU's offense was clicking on all cylinders last week against South Carolina, racking up over 600 yards. Death Valley at night is almost impossible to win at, especially playing without Will Grier. And even if they did have Will Grier, they still face a tough situation. I'm going to go with the Tigers at home.
Big loss for Florida in the quarterback position. I don't know if they're going to be able to overcome. I think the team chemistry is going to be out of whack, so I'm going to go with an LSU win this week.
I think LSU wins this one. It'll be close, but with the circumstances of the week, I think LSU is favored. Our last game of the week is a Big Ten matchup, a rivalry game. Another thing that is good about college football, Michigan State at Michigan at the Big House. Two great teams. Michigan State has been high in the polls all year. Michigan is gaining ground, only losses to Utah. Coach Harbaugh has brought Michigan Smash Mouth football back. Their defense has had 3 straight shutouts and is only given up 6.3 points per game. Michigan State also known for their defense. However, they've given up 21 points and 24 to Purdue and Rutgers, 2 teams who have had tough years. Those are the results in the last 2 games. 2 veteran quarterbacks in Cook from Michigan State and Rudock from Michigan have to take care of the ball. Turnovers are going to be a key here. I think also which team establishes the run. They've had some success. And then a big play maybe in the passing game. Michigan State is has been a Final Four type of team, but that's coming into question a little bit. And I think at the Big House, first rivalry game for Coach Harbaugh, I'm going with Michigan in a very, very close battle in Ann Arbor.
Well, in the Big House, Michigan State hasn't been playing very well defensively the past 2 games. I don't think they're going to be able to overcome the noise and the crowd. I see the Wolverines continue their journey up the pole and upsetting MSU.
I got to agree with them. I'm thinking Michigan this week because I wasn't very impressed by Michigan State when they played against Purdue, and I'm just going to have to go Wolverines the whole way.
Michigan State is undefeated but has not looked very impressive the last 2 weeks against Purdue and Rutgers. I think the Wolverines get a big win at home under Jim Harbaugh.
And those are our games of the week. We now send it back to our correspondent, Kyle Klein, who has a special guest up in the South Bend Elkhart area, Delphi's own head of the English department, Amy Tonsoni, was quite the athlete, or at least rumored to be quite the athlete in her younger days, and Kyle went investigating. Kyle, what do you have?
Hi, thanks guys. I'm here with Elkhart Memorial's most esteemed graduate. We will not talk about the class, what year that was, but this is Mrs. Amy Tonsoni. How are you doing today?
Hi there, Mr. Klein. I'm so happy to be a part of this of Delphi Bracketology. I've been a longtime fan, kind of followed it since its infancy, and I'm just pleased to be a part of the program today.
Oh, perfect, perfect. I noticed you were wearing a nice sweater today. Can you tell us a little bit about that sweater?
Sure, I'd be glad to. Kind of broke this out of storage just for you guys today. Going back to my glory days, and my sports involvement in high school was probably some of my fondest memories, to be honest. All the involvement in extracurricular activities. So I would encourage all of our students and any student out there watching to get involved in your school. And when I think back on my high school memories, that's what I remember the best.
Okay, well, you're talking about sports. So what sports did you play?
I played volleyball and basketball.
Now, I also heard there was a third sport that you played. Were you also a tennis player?
Oh gosh, I'm so glad that somebody filled you in on that. I give tennis a try. It didn't go so well. I wouldn't even let my parents come watch me.
Well, I understand. The tennis courts at my high school were best used for rollerblading hockey, and that's how it became so tough. So a lot of checks up against the fence. But okay, well, aside from sports, what else were you involved in high school?
I was, believe it or not, in the high school orchestra. I played the
Ooh.
cello
Ooh.
and involved in National Honor Society, Student Council, Pep Club. Got
Awesome.
pretty involved.
Yeah, so you're well-rounded. That's pretty awesome. Like Mrs. Tonsoni said, I'd highly recommend that you guys also participate in as many items here around our sports and clubs and activities you can do around here at Delphi High School. Let's talk about the game this weekend. We got Notre Dame versus USC. It looks like you could be a USC fan.
I tell you what, I'm rooting for USC this weekend, and here's why. Growing up in Elkhart as I did, and on top of that, my father played football for Purdue, and so we were pretty much raised to root against the Irish. So for no better reason than that, just never been a fan of the Irish.
I have to agree with you. The Irish, they always get, the really good recruiting classes, and I kind of like USC, Southern California. I've been out there once. It's a glorious place. It's a little bit nicer in South Bend, so if you ever get a chance to go visit. Any thoughts on the game? Do you think, aside from rooting for USC, do you have a prediction on a score, maybe?
Oh gosh, I will go ahead. I don't know, it might be out on a limb. I haven't been following very closely. But I'm going to stick with USC by 7.
Ooh, very strong prediction. I was going to go with a score of 10-2. Hopefully the USC wins, and we'll give Notre Dame that one safety that they've been looking for all year. Back to you guys at the table. We'd like to thank Mrs. Amy Tonsoni for being a special guest this week, and you guys have a great Saturday.
Well, that's quite the story. I kind of think that young lady is kind of cute, but I'm biased. Thanks, Amy, and thanks, Kyle, for what a wonderful interview. That brings us to our marquee game, the Southern California Trojans versus the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Gilby, what do we have on this game?
Well, USC is a team in turmoil this week. Not only have they lost 2 of their last 3 games, but the big news out of Los Angeles this week was the firing of head coach Steve Sarkisian for alcohol problems and his struggles with alcohol. Brian Kelly has done a great job this year with the Irish, overcoming a lot of injuries. Deshaun Kaiser has stepped in as quarterback, and CJ Proziz had 3 touchdowns to lead the rushing attack of the Irish last week. The big question is, how is the team going to respond for USC? Sometimes in these situations, the team rallies around each other and comes out and plays a great game. Or are they going to continue to be in turmoil? I just think that they're still going to be in turmoil, and I think the Irish are just going to be too tough in South Bend this week.
As Gilby said, I think Notre Dame's going to have to win this one. I think USC is just under too many bad circumstances this week to be able to pull one off, so I'm going Notre Dame.
USC, they both said coaching position is a mess. Playing in South Bend is not going to help their cause. I got the Irish getting the victory.
Again, focusing, we wish Coach Sarkisian all the best, and we're saddened by his situation, but it does affect the game. But USC Notre Dame goes back a long ways. The green jerseys back maybe a couple decades ago. A big rivalry game. Both sides will come out and play hard. The Notre Dame campus will be hopping. I have to go with the Fighting Irish to get the win in this one. So that does it for episode 6. Hopefully our production goes a little more smoothly this week, and we get this out to you soon. We also have a top 25 poll that I got to get out there somehow on at Delphi Brackets. Follow us there. Thanks again to Hoosier Huddle for staying with us and sponsoring us. Thank you for my awesome panel. We really appreciate this. We hope you enjoy your college football Saturday. Thank you.